Here we are in the front yard of the Harper House. As the new recruits march towards Washington, those left behind are terrified due to rumors that the British plan on attacking the undefended armory. The armory here at Harper's Ferry, that was established by George Washington, was a large complex that stretched 600 yards along the Potomac River. Powered by a long canal, the armory produced the weapons for the nation's self-defense, while the nearby arsenal stored the finished guns. But what terrifies the local residents more than the threat of the British attacking the undefended armory are the enslaved persons in town. The head government official here at the armory, military storekeeper Samuel Annan, writes a letter to the War Department in which he says more fear is apprehended from the blacks than the enemy. He also goes on to say that the local African Americans are more insolent and have made threats. The fear of the enslaved was so pervasive in this local area that citizens from the surrounding towns were asking for guns from the armory to defend themselves. The armory mechanics had sent their families away to what they considered safer places and had mounted a nightly guard over the armory itself. Samuel Annan asked that a guard of 100 soldiers be sent to Harper's Ferry to restore the peace. It turned out that the greatest threat to the liberty of the folks here at Harper's Ferry was not the British, but the enslaved people in their own homes and yards. That's because slavery was a dangerous contradiction of the ideals the American soldier was supposedly defending. The expression in the Declaration of Independence that all men were created equal was not self-evident. The inalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness were denied to African Americans, who were considered property that could be bought or sold. Mr. Basil Williamson, who owned the tavern here at the Harper House we just visited earlier, had listed on the 1810 census 8 human beings as his personal property. Considering the fact that most free people could not afford one enslaved person, the fact that Mr. Basil Williamson had 8 was quite remarkable. He also advertised in the local newspaper that he would sell his deceased father-in-law's young enslaved woman here at the Harper House. This young woman had no control over whether her new master would be kind or cruel, or where he or she would take her. She could have been possibly taken away from all that she knows and all those she loves. These and other cruelties of slavery are what drove some men and women to violence. John Brown, a teenager during the War of 1812, became a most determined abolitionist after he witnessed the beating of an enslaved boy. As an adult, Brown would declare himself an instrument of God's will, unleashing God's wrath upon the slave supporters in Kansas and later Virginia. 45 years after the initial scare of 1814, Brown became the manifestation of the town's fear of a slave insurrection. On October 16, 1859, Brown led a party of 21 white and black raiders to attack the armory and arm the local slaves. Brown's raid would not only fulfill the prophetic warnings of Samuel Annan, but also further divide the pro- and anti-slavery factions in this nation, leading to civil war.